Welcome back, kiddies. This next show is going to be sponsored by none other than Evan Williams. I don't know if it's bourbon or if it's whiskey. It's brown and it fucks you up. And case in point, this whole show has been sponsored by Evan Williams for a reason. And by the end of it, you'll know exactly why. Good work, Evan Williams. You fucked up two big dudes. Cheers. Let's start the show.
I'm your huckleberry.
Last call for alcohol.
Take him home!
Speak up or forever hold your peace.
Somebody just walked over your grave.
Just get him the hell out of here!
Hello, my friend! Hey! Yeah!
Go home, Jake.
Okie dokie, okie dokie, okie dokie. Welcome back. Happy fucking holidays to everybody. It's good to have you guys all back here. We made it to show number 3. That's pretty awesome. So how's everybody's turkey day? I hope it was good. Mine was pretty sweet. I had a turkey. I made a turkey. My best turkey so far, I think. We ate the shit out of it. I hope you did too. I just want to clue you guys in real quick to a couple shows I got coming up. This will be coming out, I'm guessing that you're listening to this right around the week that it comes out. If not, then you're retrofitting this whole show, and you're going to miss 2 shows. First one is going to be Friday, December 12th, here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's going to be at the Thunderbird Cafe. This is going to be a cool one, too, if you're in the area. We're doing, there's this thing called the Calendar Compilation, and what it is it's a bunch of local bands they all have a song that's being put out on vinyl. It's a vinyl compilation, which is even cooler. But it comes with a calendar, and every month there's a different artist that's local to Pittsburgh, and it's pretty sweet. I'm going to be part of it. My friends Mickey and the Snake Oil Boys, otherwise known as Mickey and the SOBs, a couple other bands, a bunch of other bands, actually. Brian McQuaid, the Bloody Seamen, I don't know. Go to the fucking show, buy the goddamn comp, and then find out who's on it. But we're having a release day on December 12th. It's Friday. It's this Friday if you're listening to this. This is coming out Wednesday. So Friday is the show in Pittsburgh. Then, the very next day, we're going to be in fucking Philadelphia. I'm going to be doing a show at the Compound in Philly. And I have the address. Unfortunately, I'm looking through my pockets. My phone is in the other room. So if you want to know where that is, then it's a private. It's like a private little area. It's not a public venue. It's my buddy's warehouse basically, where he fucking goes and chops up cars and turns them into cooler cars and does the same thing with motorcycles and then he does other cool shit. And hopefully you'll be there hanging out with us while we do some cool shit. I don't have the address, but all you got to do if you want the address if you want to go to the show in Philly on December 13th. Just look us up on Facebook and Reverb Nation and Twitter. It'll be all over that place. Trust me, if you're listening to this, you'll be able to find it. You're not stupid, so figure it out. All right, so the point of this whole fucking thing is to bring out my guest, Brook Blanche. Brook Blanche is the singer of one of the singers of the Calamity Cubes. There's 3 folks in the Calamity Cubes. Cody O on bass also sings. Joey Henry, who plays the banjo, and also sings. And our guest tonight, Brook Blanche, he plays guitar. He also sings, as you may have guessed. So, one of the reasons why I really wanted Brook to be part of this, and we could do 3 different shows with the Cubes. The Cubes are such a good band and such a cool group of guys and such an interesting batch of family that we could break this out into a mini series if we wanted to. But the reason why I focused on Brook particularly is because of a personal reason. We kind of have a little bit of history. Only in the fact that he beat the fuck out of me. One day. He did. I told you guys on the last episode that I would talk about this. I'm not going to go into like crazy fucking like paragraphs about why it went down. I'm just going to sum it up for you. That's going to come later. First of all, before I do that, I just want to talk about the Cubes because that's the main focal point here. Not my fucking stupid, limp, shitty body getting beat up, but how cool this band is. They're so good, man. when I first met this band and first met these guys, it was at the Muddy Roots Festival, the very first Muddy Roots Festival. And if you're not familiar with the Muddy Roots Festival, just Google the shit. That's about all I'm going to say about that. It's fucking awesome. Google the shit. Figure it out. Get there if you like it. If you don't like it, don't go to it. Fuck off. But I met him there the first time, and it was a really unique gathering because there were so many of us doing like similar music, and this is one of the early conceptions of a music festival where we all kind of gathered together and found each other, and that's where we found the Calamity Cubes. That's where they found the goddamn Gallows. That's where it all kind of started in some ways. But aside from that, when I pulled in there and I started setting up camp, this white van pulled up right next to ours, and this giant Sasquatch of a man. This guy was like, it's like, this dude is huge. I don't know how to fucking explain it other than the fact that this dude is fucking huge. He got out of the van and he scared the shit out of me. He was a scary dude. I thought immediately when I looked at him, and he didn't look at me. He didn't look at me at all or recognize that I was even there. He didn't know who the fuck I was. He didn't acknowledge my existence. He just came out of the van and reached for something, and I was like 40 feet away and saw this guy, and in my head I was like, this guy's going to beat me up someday. And turns out I was right. I'll get to that later. But as we were enjoying the entire festivities of the weekend and getting to know each other, I really felt connected to these guys. And there was a very specific moment while they were playing, and I didn't hear their music at this point. I had no idea who they were, but I'm walking around, I'm listening to different bands and checking things out, and as I was walking past the Calamity Cubes, and I saw them on stage, and I recognized the big dude that I knew was going to beat me up. I knew, well, at that point in time, they were in the song that stopped me in my tracks because it was so brutally honest, so it completely connected with what was going on through my own brain. And it was all, it's all relationship based. I mean, let's give it up for relationships. They're awesome until they suck. And sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not, but whatever. There was basically, all right, let me back up a little bit. They were singing this song, and one of the lines in the song was, oh God, you gotta forgive me right here. I'm gonna screw it all up. But it made sense to me. I got a son. I was married. I was in a relationship for a very long time. I have a lot of regrets with any relationship I've ever been in. And I hear this line bellowing out of a PA from this guy who's 6'4" with a voice that sounds, makes Barry White look like fucking Lisa in the Cult Jam. And the lines are, I had you one time, but I lost you. Wait, fuck, I'm screwing this up. I had you one time, but I lost you. You were mine, and I let you slip right through my fingers. I'll never forgive my hands. That floored me. I thought that was amazing. It blew my mind. So immediately I wanted to be best friends with this guy. Well, mainly because I really liked what he was saying, and I really wanted to learn more about him individually and what went through his head while he was feeling that way. And second of all, I wanted to be friends with him because I want him to be in my danger team because he's huge, and I don't want him to beat me up. But now that we're talking about that, let's go into that. So, flash forward a couple years. I think about a year and a half, exactly. We get to know each other. We all become friends. We all, through a weekend like that, it's like going through boot camp. You all fucking hang out. You're camping out. You're drinking together. You're playing music together. You're bleeding. You're sweating together. It's a very unique experience where you go through it all. You endure everything, every emotion that you have together. So once that weekend is over, you don't forget who each other are, and then you keep going on, trudging through this world of live music, and we did a lot of stuff together. Summing it all up a little bit. So, about a year and a half later, we're all getting together to do this festival that a friend of ours, Danielle Colby of American Pickers, she's part of this festival that's going on in I believe it's LeClaire, Iowa, right along the Mississippi River. It's a really cool thing. It's kind of it's not a crazy hippie druggy festival. It's just there's live music, there's food, great food, there's great art, there's collectibles everywhere. Obviously, I mean, and it's a very beautiful setting. It's a nice hot summer day right along the Mississippi River, and the Calamity Cubes are playing, and I'm playing, and we have a really good time. And through that, we have a weekend where we get to hang out and just do stupid stuff. One of the stupid things that we decided to do was go to a swimming hole that was nearby, and it was glorious. We all went. We all woke up the next day. Let's go to this fucking swimming hole. It's going to be amazing. So we go there, and we bring a fateful 1.75 bottle of, I don't know, probably Old Thompson. Does anybody even know fucking Old Thompson? Everybody knows Old Crow whiskey. Or bourbon, I should say. Sorry for you fucking whiskey dickheads. But Old Thompson was like the bottom shelf. It's shitty. It's shitty. So anyway, we're drinking that all day. We're swimming, and there's a waterfall, a beautiful waterfall over this swimming hole that's only about the size of maybe like a bathroom, and we're all kind of sitting in it and basking in the sunlight, and the water's coming down on us, and there's a ledge on it so you can sit, like your butt will be behind the waterfall and your knees will be in front of it. You can look in front of you and not really see things other than like blurriness, and then you put your head through it and you can see everything else that's actually there. And me and Brooke are right next to each other, and we're looking at each other like this is the most amazing thing, and we're laughing and it's loud, and we're fucking high-fiving each other like this is such a fucking cool thing. And we had that realization that we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't meet each other and we weren't playing music, and we actually took a risk to stop fucking doing our stupid day jobs and take a risk and play music. We're doing this now because of the choices that we made, and we high-fived. It was glorious. It was amazing. Awesome feeling. So all right, so we dry up, we go upstairs by the parking lot, by the van, and we start playing dice and drinking more and playing more dice and drinking a little bit more. And you know what it's like when you start getting drunk. Things that are funny to you might not be funnier to other people, but you think it's fun, so you continue to do it. So Brooke grabs Fish Guts by the leg and drags him out of the van. Ha, ha, ha. And these fucking ass falls on the fucking gravel. And so I pants Brooke. And when I say pants Brooke, that means that we're all in our boxer shorts. Brooke's in his boxers. I pull his pants down. I thought that would be funny. I thought it would also be funny to, once his pants are around his ankles, push him so that he falls. Ha ha. It is funny. I'm sorry. Sorry, Brooke. I know you're listening to this right now. I still think that shit was funny. But here's the thing. Some people can take jokes. Some people can't take jokes. Some people don't know when it's a joke. And some people are mean-spirited in jokes. I notoriously am surrounded by people that degrade each other to show affection. I don't know why that's a thing. I don't know why that's a popular belief in a thing, but it is a thing. When you love somebody, when I love somebody, I degrade them. When I am in love with a friend of mine, they degrade me. How do I know somebody gives a shit about me? Well, it depends on how creative they can fucking talk shit about me. You know, the more creative, the more they care. That's how I feel. So that's just the mentality that I had. Brooke is not the kind of guy that deals with that kind of mentality, I think. He doesn't... He's a little bit more evolved than I am, I guess, and some of my friends are. But he didn't find that funny in the least. And I'll say in the least like this. He fucking came at me. He was fucking pissed. He pulled a knife out. I was running. I was scared. I was not... This wasn't like a funny thing like, haha, he's got a knife. Haha, this is awesome. It was like, holy fuck, dude. He just pulled a knife out. I'm fucking running. And they were like, get the fuck out of here, dude. He's going to fucking kill you. Like, seriously. He's not going to, like, this isn't funny. He's going to kill you. Or you're at least going to get hurt. So I ran. I'm hiding. And I, let some time go by. And I come back. And I feel like, okay, maybe it's died down a little bit. And I'm like, I'm at the point now where I realize that I hurt his feelings. And I embarrassed him. So I said, dude, I'm sorry. And without even fucking finishing those words, he just fucking did what I probably would have done if I was him. He fucking threw one at me, and he caught me right in the fucking rib, and he floored me. I was on the ground, and it hurt so fucking much that I think I might have shit my pants a little bit. Not a lot, but just enough. Enough to know that it was good, that it was worth it. And anyway, I kind of had it coming. But then again, you could have taken a joke better, Brooke. Sorry. Just saying. Either way, we kind of ended up in a stalemate. The next day, it was like, I was kind of fucked up. I was out of commission for a little bit. I definitely didn't blame him, but I definitely wanted to say something to him. So the next day, we kind of had it out, and it went basically about like this. Hey, man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to embarrass you. Hey, man, I'm not sorry that I hit you, but I'm sorry that I hurt you. And ever since then, we found a little bit more of a respect for each other. Now we know where our limits are. Some people find their limits between friendship different ways. Unfortunately for me and Brooke, it's bone breakage and depantsing and complete embarrassment. So, that being said, I want everybody to know how much respect and love I have for this man. Not just because of that, but in spite of all of that, I've already had a lot of respect for him. When you go through shit like that, you kind of have a little bit more respect between friends. So it was a real pleasure for me to be able to continue our friendship. We're still friends, obviously. This was 3 years ago maybe. And we're still obviously very good friends. And there's a lot of mutual respect. And this is a guy who blows my mind every night that he plays a song. He brings tears to my eyes almost on a daily basis. If I put on any of their songs, it's basically signing up to cry like a little baby, because I can relate to it. And so on the last tour that I just did with Austin Lucas, we did this show it was in Wichta at the Lizard Lounge, and we were playing with Joey Henry of the Cubes, and Brooke, both doing solo sets. And at the end of the night, we all decided, we were all hanging out together. We're all staying at their house. They were kind enough to let us stay there. And so I decided this would be a good time to have a sit down and let's fucking talk. Let's bullshit. And I'm not going to lie to you, folks. Shit gets intense, man. There's moments where it gets very, very, the tension is palpable. So we do it in their backyard, and there's certain issues that I try to push. He doesn't want to push, and I've already been beaten up once by this man, so I'm not going to push him too hard. But it's a really cool conversation because we really get into some heavy material. He talks a lot. He opens up a lot, and this is a guy who, as big as he is, he's a very sensitive man. He's got a lot of feelings, and you gotta. to know and love Brook Blanche is to understand humanism and also to learn how to walk on eggshells. That's just a fact. We all have to do that with each other. There's certain things that you don't want to talk about that maybe sometimes you should talk about. Maybe there's things that people talk about too much that need that conversation might need to die. So I'm going to go into this conversation now with him in his backyard. I hope you guys are into it. I hope you guys like it. I hope you take away as much as I've taken back from it, because it's been a really, really good experience. And I really hope that you guys, after this, if you've never heard of the Calamity Cubes before, I hope now you're going to be a new fan. If you're already a fan of the Cubes, like a lot of you guys are, then I think this is going to be a really cool portrait into, just the back history. So here we go. We're going to go to me and Brooke and a bunch of other douchebags sitting in their backyard at about 4 o'clock in the morning, drunk as shit. Oh, one thing I want to say before we go into this. I just want to point out, like I said in the beginning of this, we had a full bottle between the two of us of Evan Williams. By the end of this conversation, that bottle was dry as a bone. All right, keep that in mind, folks. Go to our conversation. Here we go. I hope you guys like it. I'll talk to you later.
I've never seen one man sleep longer in my life than Matt is too. They both sleep.
So now that everyone's out here,
12 hours.
Yeah. Actually, last time we saw him,
we do this.
Let's sit down right here and talk.
We'll be quiet.
Lies.
I'm serious. Everybody?
It needs to be quiet. This is awkward as shit.
We're not judging.
Interview in front of everybody.
Well,
Yeah, Sally.
Brooke.
You want to go to bed? Is that right?
Brook Blanche.
You're already recording on you, Rick. So I throw 80s insults at you all day, Chili.
It's fine. They're going to go right over my head.
Cool, dude. Yeah, they didn't all go over your head.
How do you know that? I didn't say anything.
We're not even here. You know that, right? We're just the ambiance.
Use your America later.
Yeah, make it back to Tulsa, man.
You have.
Are you in Tulsa?
Yeah, I do a
I
lot.
like getting the flames.
Yeah, I'm really afraid.
I like thinking that the flag is burning. But whatever.
That's pretty intense. Sit down, Brooke. Let's talk. Let's bullshit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm gonna edit all this shit, so don't worry. Don't. I don't want you to feel awkward. I don't want you to feel weird.
I feel awkward all the time anyway.
Yeah, John actually.
And you don't make me feel comfortable.
Am I supposed to?
No, you're awkward as shit, too.
Tulsa's finicky, man. It has its...
That was my first bad show in Tulsa. I played that
Well, let me ask you this.
I haven't brought enough weed for this. What?
I got some hash if you want to
Oh,
smoke
let's
some
smoke
hash.
some hash. Yeah. Just sitting around doing nothing.
Probably bust out a new pipe for this shit, huh?
Yeah, go grab one off the shelf.
Mercury Lounge?
No, we're making a new pipe.
Ooh, a newbie. Cool. We can just. That'll be good. Now,
Wait. Don't get too excited. I can't find my hash.
It's alright. I was just happy to get Billy out of here. Oh, that's jokes and jokes.
Yeah, we all feel the same. Fuck him.
Too many mandolin players in this yard.
I know, right? My nemesis. He's my nemesis. You know
Really? 'Cause
that.
I'm the best one here. Just so you guys know. Famous licks, those first album licks, that's me.
Two-trick pony. So where were you born?
It's just...
I was born in St. John's Hospital in Leavenworth, Kansas.
In North Kansas. What's North Kansas?
Leavenworth, Kansas.
Is that like...
I didn't say North Kansas.
I thought you said North Kansas.
It's northeast Kansas. Leavenworth, Kansas, the first city in
They have
Kansas.
pretty good gathering.
Buffalo Bill Cody.
Coming from where? From which end, though? Like,
From which end? Northeast. There's only one end.
well, it's the first city in Kansas, okay, but depending on where you're coming from, if you're coming from the south and you're going north, then the first city in Kansas that you run into might not be
That
Leavenworth.
squiggle in Missouri River,
Yeah.
we're just under that in
Okay.
Kansas. It's all straight lines.
Is your family from Kansas originally?
Well, one side of my family is, my dad's side is from, well, we've been in the States for 270 years, something like that.
You mean like us, like as Americans, or like
No,
your
like
family?
my
Your family.
Dad's side of the family has been here for like 270 years or so. And my mom's side of the family, like, her parents came over on the boat, you know what I mean?
From where?
From Poland and Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, that sort of
So,
region.
so like,
Eastern Europe, I guess. Is
so
that what that is.
all right, yeah. I mean, that's a pretty broad
I have a
statement.
map inside, but yeah.
It's a pretty. I mean, it's a pretty broad picture that you're painting here.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I mean, like, so your mom.
a social security
your mom.
number about it?
No. I'm just trying to get a sense of like where your roots are, because I mean, we all got weird fucking roots. We all have weird places that we come from, and a lot of it is hard to trace back because we are a fucking country full of immigrants and intermarried with other cultures and countries and stuff like that.
I just got my great grandma's, like at least
I've been around Tulsa my whole life.
at least hers, maybe further back. Her recipe for pierogi just the other day from my little sister.
Yeah.
So, like,
That's when I'm leaving, like January.
Well, what do you consider?
my grandma was from Yugoslavia, but my grandpa was from Poland, so my grandma cooked Polish food.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right. So, do you consider yourself to be Yugoslavian,
How would
Polish?
I
Do you consider yourself just American?
One of those places.
You're just American.
I think just like everyone else, like the epitome of it. Like my grandparents came over on a boat, and my dad's side has been here forever. They also came over on a boat, but hundreds of years difference. You know, like,
That's pretty interesting, though.
that's isn't that what the United States is?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, totally.
just
People
get
forget
here-
that.
Just
People
get here,
forget that all
fall
the
in
time.
love, be somebody, get a job.
Yeah.
You know.
All right.
Or
So,
don't.
so you're born. You
I
started
was.
somewhere.
I accomplished that. It was hard.
Probably not that hard for you.
It was. I
Probably harder for your mom.
had a collapsed lung when I was born. So,
Really?
so I have ridden on a helicopter, but I don't remember it because I was like
Wait.
12 minutes old.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I don't sing very loud.
Okay.
My lungs are beat up.
Okay. Wait. So, you were born on a helicopter?
I was born and then I had a collapsed lung, so I had to go on a helicopter to Kansas City to Children's Mercy.
How the fuck did that happen?
I was there, but it's hard to relate the details. To be honest.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
It's a little sketchy.
Your parents,
I had
your parents
placenta
didn't.
in my eye.
Your parents didn't tell you like all about it, like as you got
I asked
older.
about it. My mom had to stay in Leavenworth while her baby flew away, dying.
Oh wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'll get you dates.
I think she probably just got a sensitive attachment right then because she
Oh,
wasn't
shit.
very much loving after that. So.
Why? You know what? Let's go into
No,
that.
we don't.
No. We're going. We gotta talk about that, bro, because there's a lot of history.
You
to
think
man.
there is, but there's not.
Well, there's probably more than you want to
There's
admit.
a lot of history
but-
of my mom, my whole life, but we're not doing that.
What do you mean we're not doing that? Are you afraid of talking about it?
What's pierogi?
Pierogi is basically like a dough, and our family uses cabbage inside, cabbage and egg, and so you make the dough. You make these little pierogies.
Like a birrak?
It's
Bit different?
way smaller but similar conceptually, but you boil it then. So you wrap it in kind of a dough noodle, like an egg noodle, basically, and then you boil it and then you fry it in butter.
Oh my.
It's kind of like a
Poland,
like a
they-
ravioli sort of.
Yeah, kind of, but bigger. In Poland, they put creme fraiche on it.
Creme fraiche
like
on
sour
it?
cream. And they used a lot of potato in there.
A lot of potato, a lot of cheese.
My older sister,
onions.
when Bush got reelected, her and her husband were like, nope, we're out. And so they went to Poland for 4 years and taught English in the countryside. And,
really?
Yeah, for sure. And then it was time for next election. They came back so they could vote. Which is, to me, awesome. Like, way to take a stand and go, hopefully help the world a little bit while we're fucking up the world, you know? Basically, everyone in my family is amazing.
Virtuous.
And then
How many people are in
I
your
do
family?
this.
You have, I mean, I know you got a sister. You got
I
brothers.
have an older sister, she's 3 years older, and a younger sister, she's 3 years older. I ended up having two parents, which is
How old are you?
cool. 35.
Okay.
And then I have a couple of stepbrothers that happened like 8 years ago, you know, maybe 6 years ago, you know what I mean? But we don't really call each other stepbrothers.
Well, okay.
Family.
When you, all right, like when you were being brought up, you were around your mom and your dad for how long? Until you were what?
I mean, they were married my whole life. My parents were good people. My dad, his dad wasn't awesome, so he promised us that he would always be with us. And so the day that my little sister left for college, they told her they were getting a divorce. Then she came back when they wanted to be there.
Fuck.
Which is commendable. That's fucking awesome. My dad did.
It's a commitment.
My
It's
dad
definitely
did
a
what a
commitment.
dad should do.
Yeah.
I'm like,
how old were you at the time?
well, I'm 3 years older than my little sister, so I was 21. Yeah.
So you pretty much,
I had parents my whole life.
Yeah, okay.
It was a late divorce and a very late stepbrother.
My parents were completely, by the time I could recollect any kind of thoughts, I think that's Evan Williams talking, but they were never together. I don't remember them ever being together.
Yes, that's
you know what I
crazy.
mean?
That's
So
crazy.
I don't know what that's like to just have parents together and having a foundation of like two people who are in your life, who are guiding you and sculpting you and being, you know, your moral compass in every way, shape, or form, and then having the two of them at 21 years old to just go their separate ways.
Then again, do you want the people who just happen to fucking make you be the definition of who you are going to be?
If it's not, honest, man. If it's not honest.
I love my parents, and they loved each other, and they were great parents to me. But like, it was just a couple of people who fucked. I mean, they were married and already had my older sister, and you know what I mean. Like, it was fine, but when you really break it down, it's just pretty simple, and the fact that a whole life has to come from it is intimidating, to say the least.
Like, it could be overwhelming. Everything that you do.
You're not watching this, right? Yeah, like, yep. I would try to turn the handle first.
You're good. I just came out.
Congratulations to Jason Crane for coming out. We support you, buddy. Love you, man.
So, one of the things I wanted to ask you about, because you had mentioned something before, and it was pretty much in passing. It was like such a small little statement that you said, pretty much like almost under your breath, as we were like walking away from a conversation, but it rang fucking bells with me. One of my favorite songs that you ever wrote was Never Had It. And I asked you to play it one time. And you just basically said, kind of under your breath, well, alright, well, me and my mom aren't getting along right now, so yeah, I'll play it. Let's talk about this, man.
It's just another song. I wrote that song not intending anything. It's just an imaginary situation.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure you wrote it like that, but why did it affect your mom so much?
I don't know. You'd have to interview her, I bet.
No, dude, come on, dude, don't Don't do that shit.
Oh, you don't do that shit. I just told you I don't want to really talk about it. We talk about a lot of stuff, but...
All right.
This is different than just sitting across the table, you know? It's not fair to everyone involved. I can't speak for everyone.
But it obviously affected you deeply.
Well...
And why do you... I mean,
life affects people deeply.
Yeah, I know. And why do you write songs?
Well, that's a way different question than how I feel about my mom.
Maybe.
It's like some...
Maybe.
Therapist session. It doesn't need to be that.
But come on, man. I'm not gonna push it. I'm not gonna push it. If you really, honestly don't want to go there, I'm not gonna push it. I'm not gonna push it. But I also feel that you tend to.
Well, what's the point of it?
Well, the point of it is because it comes from your fucking heart, and it comes from your soul, and it comes from like
Dude,
pain
I
that
give
you've
so
gone
much of my
through.
heart and soul to stuff. Like, do I have to explain every feeling I've had?
No,
in my
you
life?
don't have.
'Cause
You don't have. Like I said, I'm not gonna try to push it. I'm not gonna try to push it on you. But
this is a thing that people ask songwriters. This is a thing that people go and push about. And like, I'm not upset about you for asking, but like, you can't expect someone to clearly define every action they ever did.
not everybody. Not everybody. But Brooke. But Brooke, hold on. Give me a second here. I see a guy, and I know you. I don't know you as well as a lot of other people know you, but I think me and you at least have some kind of connection.
Yeah.
All right. And I know, and I've seen you. I know that you stuff shit down. You repress shit all the fucking time. Not all the time, but big time.
I don't see how that's true. I mean,
maybe. Well, you're not supposed to see it.
I tell people all my feelings when I,
sure,
you know, in
sure.
very exposed
And I feel like
ways.
you sit there, and you help other people with their problems, and through your lyrics, through your fucking trials and tribulations, through everything that you go through, everything that you write, you're helping other people just relate to themselves. And you're doing a very healing thing. But at the same time, you're suffering inside. There's so many...
Or I have suffered, but that's different.
Well, I think you have suffered and you're still suffering. I don't think that you have enough opportunity to really let anything out. I feel like
That's why I released that record, dude, so I could just get rid of some of those things. You know what I mean? Like, that was the whole point of it. I've been carrying some of those songs around, and I was just going to make the album cover like a list of all the girls, like on a yellow legal pad, just all of you girls who broke my heart, just like, bam, a list of them. And that was, what's the name of that album cover? Like, well, you know, like, you know.
You're a fucking
so
amazing.
I tell people my feelings.
You do.
A lot of my feelings, like more than
I think that's your therapy. I think your therapy is too.
Well, it's easier to communicate than talking about it. And
what I'm getting at.
Do I really want to have this conversation with everyone? Like, not even close.
No,
dude.
I understand that, but at the same time, it's a conversation that I think you could benefit with yourself. I'm not trying to get all fucking therapeutic.
You are.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't want to do that.
Jake.
I'm not trying to fix you.
You're next.
I'm not trying to fix you, but I think
if
you talk about some of this stuff.
Why would I talk about it? You don't want me to write any songs anymore?
No.
Okay.
But
you
release your honesty to everybody else.
When did a fixed person write a cool song that you like? When did a completely healthy, like, I don't want to be broken, but people just are, and I am, and I would rather just talk about that.
I know.
Because
I get that.
Because fixed people don't need to hear fixed people's songs.
I get that.
They're good. They're
I get
fine.
that. But I also see somebody who's helping everybody else through their fucking creativity, through their mind, that's also fucking suffering inside and doesn't know how to deal with it.
I'm not, because I just write songs about it. I don't have to suffer.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Like, if that was all built up and I get to sing that on a stage and through a fucking PA, you know, through a mic. I don't even need any of that shit. It's acoustic music, but like, I talk my feelings out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the appropriate pace.
You do a better job of it than anybody else that I know.
That's not true.
Maybe not everybody
We're
else.
fortunate to know so many good people.
You do a really good job of it, and the way that you do it helps me. And I'm not the only one.
You need help. Well, let's talk about your mom for a while.
We can do that.
She's such a sweetheart. Oh.
I mean, we can go there if you want.
No,
this isn't.
not.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. Aside from that, all right. I'm not going to push that issue. But at some point in time, you decided. Well, I don't think that's a decision necessarily, but you started writing. Did you start writing, or did you start playing music first? How did music come in your life?
My dad plays a ton of instruments, and he was signed when he was in high school, and never got to record their album. You know what I mean? Like, drummer, military, had to go away, you know, that sort of thing, you know. Now, it was, from what I understand, sort of Christianist gospel stuff, you know what I mean? But my dad plays all sorts of instruments, and I would hear him every now and then. There was always instruments under the bed in their bedroom. You know what I mean? There was always that stuff there that was like this sacred...
That's awesome.
The sacred thing, you know what I mean? And so, me and my sisters, we'd hear my dad playing, which was rare, but he'd be in his bedroom playing, and we'd just sit by the door and, like, listen to him play.
He didn't know that you guys were there listening?
Like, listen to him play banjo for a while, listen to him play guitar for a while.
Oh, cool.
He plays, like, all the brass instruments, you know what I mean? Like, he sings like oh man, I wish I could sing like my dad. Shit, I wish I could sing like my grandpa, because my dad found a recording of my grandpa, and that dude could sing. Like,
was he like a musician, or did he just do it for fun?
He just sang, because I think that's what we do, you know what I mean? Like, my dad found a recording of my grandpa doing songs for his mother's funeral.
Wow,
so he's like in his 50s, janky church piano, obviously recorded in the chapel. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And it's cool as shit.
Wow.
I watched my dad rehearse the Lord's Prayer. I don't know if you ever heard that song, that prayer song, the Lord's Prayer. It's fucking awesome. We were in this church in St. Louis, and the stained glass windows were rattling. You know, like, just, you know what I mean? So, like, music was, we weren't really allowed to listen to much music as a kid. And so Dad playing in the room was like a realer thing than what we had.
Why weren't you allowed to listen to music?
Church, you know.
What kind of church was it?
Like a warehouse of God.
Okay.
You know? Mega church.
Music wasn't kosher? Or was it just certain
their
types of music?
Praise music was kosher, but like you got different amount of beats than other music, or if you talk about anything other than praising God or Jesus.
Wow.
Praising Jesus, which, you know, whatever, that's religion stuff, but
okay. But you were sitting around,
so I heard my dad.
Your dad would be doing that.
I finally asked him when I was in 7th grade. My dad has this Gibson Ripper bass, and there's this company called Custom with a K, and they were out of Chanute, Kansas, and they had this roll and tuck vinyl for their amps, you know. So he had this silver fleck roll and tuck vinyl like a fucking hot rod, you know what I mean? Like rattle the windows in the house sort of bass cabinet.
Sounds awesome.
So he had this Gibson River bass, still has it. He bought it brand new in 74. And you open it up and it's like this purplish velvet, you know, and this black, tough looking bass in this soft space.
Yeah.
And this rumbling bass amp. And he had started playing in like praise bands and stuff, like in smaller churches, you know, like we started going to like smaller little Baptist churches, you know, because it was a way shorter drive than where we were going. And, I just saw him like doing this stuff, and it was like, okay, so this is like what a band practice is like. Everyone just sitting around and playing and hanging out, like, and in the chapel. And I always felt like, I think part of the reason I'm a musician is because I always wanted to be in the green room. Or I always wanted to be backstage by the baptismal tub or something. You know what I mean? Like, what's back there?
Yeah.
What? Seems like the cool people come from back there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Which is a childish way to look at it.
I think a lot of us.
But I still get pretty excited when it's like there's a green room.
Yeah.
Even if it's shitty, just like I get to go here and no one else does. Yeah. You know.
What's happening behind the scenes?
My drinks are free. Ha ha. You know?
Yeah.
So I asked my dad one day if he'd teach me how to play bass. And he pulled out the Gibson Ripper. And he plugged it into the custom charger, the bass charger is what it's called. And showed me how to tune it. And he played this long walking bass line that's so fucking beautiful. And he handed it to me. And he said, here you go.
How old were you?
7th grade.
It's like 12.
Whatever that age is.
12-ish.
You know, 13, whatever, right in there. And he's like, play with music you like. Find something you like. Play with that. If you ever need help tuning it again, I will help you tune it. I was like, okay. So it's on me. Okay, all right. But he gave me the tools.
Yeah.
And the tools are important. You know, people, talk about getting their kids a guitar. And they want to get them some shit-ass guitar. Like, get them a playable instrument. Get them a playable instrument. They're not going to play some shit-ass guitar. It hurts their fingers. It hurts my fingers.
Yeah.
You know, I've been playing I've been playing for 15 years, and those shitty guitars hurts my fingers.
There's
good guitars
misconception of this, like, handing, like, you want to learn, you got to learn the hard way.
Well, not if it's out of tune the whole time.
Here's a guitar that's made out of fucking rubber bands and shit.
Cool.
Yeah.
Unless you made it, that's not.
It's not gonna keep your interest. You're not gonna do anything.
No,
with that.
I
want
to
be frustrated by it.
Dude, how gratifying would it be though your first chord is beautiful?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's the easiest way to keep you?
Yeah.
With that.
Right. So my dad gave me good tools, and we were very poor, but he had that from high school. That was one of the things, like, sorry, Mom, hold on to this. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I asked him a year later. I've been playing bass, and I love playing bass. I wish I could just play bass in a band, to be honest. I taught Cody how to play bass.
Upright bass or
I learned playing electric, and then I learned how to play upright, and I taught Cody how to play upright.
Well, they're like basically in a lot of ways they're two different instruments because
they're very different.
Well, yeah, when you're playing a regular electric bass, you're kind of either following the melody line or you're following the drums. But when you're doing an upright bass,
if I had to list, I would list them both as separate things. I play guitar, banjo, mandolin,
there's a lot of
upright bass, and electric bass.
A lot of people that
play bass. Like, no, dude, no. You don't play upright, though.
Yeah,
it's a different thing.
Completely different monster.
The spacing is way different.
It's a different
instrument. Fretless, and
it's also
your right hand is more important
It's a, it's
you know,
a,
like,
it's
because your
a
right fingers are
percussive
important
instrument
to
in
the
a
way
lot of
I
ways
play
too.
bass. What?
It's a percussive instrument in a lot of ways as well.
Oh, it is though. It is.
Yeah.
John Lennon said the rhythm's in the strings.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
like,
I think
when you have an upright bass, like, dude, it's right there.
when people see an upright bass, I think a lot of people, if they don't know how to play one, they see one, they pick it up and like, oh, I can do this. Kind of the same way that people do it with drums. There's a drum
the
set.
same way that people pick up anything when they see someone good play it.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people play mandolin, and I play mandolin a little bit. It's like, oh, it's right there. I actually dobro. I was watching Billy Cook play dobro yesterday, and I woke up this morning and was like, I'm going to try that dobro out a little bit. And I was like, this is confusing as shit. Like, this is a horrible thing to do to people. To like this,
it's a math equation that I can't figure out.
This Rubik's Cube is unsolvable. Your guitar's Hey Billy, your guitar's broken because this does not do what I just told it.
You're a really good,
you're
a really good guitar player, by the way.
I am not.
Well,
That's
okay.
nice
Well,
of you.
no. I don't mean like you're not like Yngwie Malmsteen with the fucking lead solos. You don't need to be. You're not. I don't mean that.
No,
like
I'm
that.
way better than that, dude.
You know how to accompany You know how to accompany yourself. You know how to.
You play the melody. Willie Nelson says play the melody.
Well, yeah, that's a big thing, but it's hard to figure out at first.
So I don't do. You've actually never really heard me do much lead ever.
No.
With my
you don't do much
guitar
lead.
strumming, I try to put a melody in there.
That's what I mean. That's what when I say that you're a good guitar player, like you have the basic grasp of how the sound should follow what you're doing,
right?
And that's something that a lot of people can't figure out. And you have been able to do that. I've seen you do that in subtle ways, and it's not something that you advertise. It's not something that you show off on, but it's something that, as another musician, I pick up on it. Cool. I notice things like that, cool. and you know,
I like how I strum a guitar. I wish I was a little bit better at picking, but I like how I strum a guitar, and I like as starting out as a bass player. If you think about some of my guitar playing, it is mostly running melodic bass lines to the chord. So it's the chord, and then I have another couple fingers handy.
Yeah.
Because I can do, like E or A or something like. I can do those with like a finger, which gives me a lot of room to use for other stuff. I think
learning on a bass or starting playing bass is great. Learning like the fundamental notes, like, all right, this is the house, that's the destination, that's a sidetrack. So you know the different routes that you need to go, and when you have a guitar, you can embellish how you get there.
You can approach both those things, and a lot of guitar players that I totally love and songwriters use a lot more high-end melody and walk all that around, and we'll just sit there on the G for their bass note all day. And it's like, well, that's gorgeous, but I want to... Everything should have its space. You know what I mean? So, I can see how other people wouldn't want to sing to how I play. But it's hard for me to sing to how other people play because they're not necessarily giving.
Well, I think also that
you know what I mean.
You have a very definite idea.
It's a hard thing to talk about. Really,
well, you have a very definite way of how the song is done, how you portray it emotionally. And it's not something that can just be easily followed because you don't have a certain grid that you're following. You're very emotionally based. You like every time I see you play a song, you sing it differently every single time. You know what I mean?
Well,
so there's certain it's amazing. It's a sign of earnest and being honest and enjoying your own writing and your own song, and feeling about that song differently every time that you play it. So it's hard for like somebody to just play along with it because it's not well, all right, the song's going to go like that. You know, it depends on your mood, your emotion, how you play at that time. You know, like if somebody's been playing with, like when Joey's playing with you or Cody's playing with you, guys that you've been playing with for a long time, they already they know how the song goes,
right?
But they're waiting to see how you are going to play it this time, and that's I think that says a lot about just how
good they are. Yeah,
well, it says it says a lot about how good they are, but it also says more about how they know you.
Yeah,
and along those lines, it also says how much you put into a song every different night.
Well, almost every song I play was written in a different way than how it comes out.
Yeah,
you know, like for production or whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's songs that the Cubes play that are super fast. Well, not super fast. As fast as we can do it, you know? And when I wrote them, they were the slowest thing around.
Yeah, but that I think a lot of that just happens naturally just by playing it all the time and just being around a big crowd of people. You want to be explosive, so the song's going to change anyway.
I wish you guys weren't leaving so early in the morning, because we should go see Daisy.
Who's Daisy?
Well, I have this song called Daisy. It's about Daisy Simmons, who's a statue in a cemetery, the first cemetery I worked in. And
you worked in a cemetery? So did I. I worked in a cemetery too.
I've worked in a few. Anyway, I take a few people there that I really like. I took Graham and Tina there, and Tina was weeping by the time she got out of the fucking truck.
So who's Daisy?
You know, it's just this plain family plot in this old cemetery in Wichta. And I found out her story, you know, just a couple years ago. I finally looked it up because I kind of didn't want to know it. But she's in this plot, and it's the family plot, but she's got her husband's name. Her husband's not buried there. And it's all these rectangle, gray, just boring, plain stones. And then there's a statue for Daisy Simmons. And she's just beautiful and holding a bouquet of flowers, white marble, you know what I mean? She's fucking gorgeous. And I saw her when I was 18 or 19, and I think I wrote a song that day. And I'm 35, and I'm still playing that song.
Do you know like much of her history?
I do.
Yeah. Did you write that song?
I do.
Did you write it? Did you write that song based off of what you knew, or no, speculation?
Like I said,
just
like
taking the story.
I found her actual history out a year ago. I liked more of it as a mystery. I originally wrote that song for my dad because it was about in that song, it's about a woman living with a drunk and trying to find an escape, and someone telling her from the outside, like, you totally can get away with this. You know, like, get away from this. Like, get, like,
you can free yourself.
You don't have to do this, you know? Like, you're a bigger thing, and, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it comes across like that.
Well, I know it does.
Song, but
it clearly does. To anybody that knows that song, here's the thing. This is going to be a little winded, but I think everybody that loves the Calamity Cubes, loves Joey, loves Cody, and loves Brooke, to this day, it's because they pay attention to every lyric. They're hanging on their fucking britches for the next line because they understand it so well. And that's one thing that a lot of people can't do. That a lot of people just don't know how to do. That it just comes naturally to you. So your stories, everything comes very clear. So when you take a song like Daisy, and you actually explain some of the story, everybody that knows that song wants to hear this because they're right there.
But I don't want to ruin someone's experience of it.
Well, you're not ruining anybody's experience. If anything, you're heightening it. You're putting more history to it.
I try not to explain songs before I play them.
I understand that. You don't have to. You do a really good job of painting a picture, and it's up to the interpreter to see the picture and figure out what the fuck they want to see. You know what I mean? That's what we all do. When we all look at a painting, we know where the artist is going, but we make up our own scenario. We make up our own opinion. We make up our own emotion.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's great, and that's the beauty, because it's a give and take between the artist and the observer. In this case, the lyricist and the listener, and you paint a great picture. So I think it's fucking awesome to talk more about Daisy.
No, she's there, and I go visit her, and I take people I care about who I respect there. And that whole cemetery is super important to me. So.
Is this a place that you worked for a long time?
It's the first cemetery I worked at, and I worked there again a few years later. It's beautiful and historic.
Do you find some kind of peace taking care of the dead?
I think it's a very important job, and doesn't stress important enough. You know what I mean?
You're taking care of people's memories, is what you're doing. Well, that's one.
It was something that was very important to me, and is very important to me, and it's. I still go visit a lot of the graves I've done.
Really?
When I'm in the towns that I've had them, and here in Wichta, I know which ones I dug. And I go to them because I hope that they're all right. And I've cremated a lot of people.
Oh, really? I never did that. I never worked that aspect of it. I worked in the cemetery for a while, buried people, took care of their graves. Made sure that everything looked good, but I never actually went that far as to.
I had to deal with moving stiff dead bodies, and turning the oven on or whatever the fuck,
What's that like?
It's it's.
Do you get numb to it, or
it's a job in a way, but it's also it's super important, and it's a respectful thing. And I heard they're starting to do cremations where the family can come.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It takes a while. It's not necessarily a quick process, and then you have to, rake the bones out, basically, out of the oven. You rake them out and put them in a grinder, really.
Yeah,
and it's supposed to be no dust from any other bodies, but that's not. I don't see how that would even be considerably possible, or how anyone would expect that. You know what I mean? How big is the tiniest piece of ash?
I mean, when it comes down to it, like
Like,
how important it.
that person probably died with someone's cells on them anyway.
There's
Did they
no-
shake a hand
yeah,
that day?
there's-
You know what I
I
mean?
mean-
Anyway, but whatever. I don't remember what the original question was, but
All right, well, let's move on.
it's just a thing.
Let's move on.
It all shaped me a lot more as a songwriter than
You're a sensitive dude,
even
man.
growing
You're a
up.
sensitive dude. You're a big motherfucker, but you're a sensitive, observant guy who takes in everything.
Well, I think if anyone would pay attention, they would feel sympathetic to what's going on.
Well, that's
And it's just probably easier to not pay attention. And I'm really good at, you made me sound very nice. I'm not actually. And that's okay. Like, I'm just not actually that.
I think you're too hard on yourself.
Well, you're back in the trying to fix me thing.
I'm not
but,
trying to fix you. I'm not trying to fix you, Brooke.
But
I'm
no,
not trying to
like,
fix you.
I
know a lot of people
I'm
that would
super
agree with
sarcastic.
this. You're very sarcastic, but you're also too hard on yourself. And is that a
Well,
good thing or is
I
that a
also
bad
know a lot of
thing?
people
I don't
who
know.
would agree with me.
You're one of those guys, though, man.
You
You're
know
one of those
what I mean?
guys that like you can cut a conversation that two people are having. Like two people are talking about something and they're having a disagreement. You can come in just as you're on your way to the bathroom, overhear it and just say one thing, and it just ends that conversation that you weren't even part of. Like you put it right there.
I like interjecting.
Yeah, you're good at it. You're good at ejaculating. Anyway, let's move on. Buddy, you write some of the best songs that I've heard in my lifetime.
That's insane.
No, it's
For you
not
to say.
insane. No, it's not insane.
Maybe
I
I
know
don't even know how to confine that to.
You don't have to.
I could fit into a category.
you don't have to. I'm
of,
not saying it. I'm not saying it for you to be like, oh, well, thank you very much. I'm telling you because
I wouldn't say that.
I'm more interested in your brain, in how you.
Who writes a song with their brain?
That's a good point. That's a really good point. So, are you happy right now, this day, today, right now? Are you happy?
I'm having a blast hanging out with you, and there's a bunch of people there in the house, and
Okay, well, all right, let's go back. So, at some point in time, and I believe fairly accurate, interject any time that you want, you met Joey and Cody basically through just open mics.
I met Joey and Patrick, who wrote Ivan.
Okay.
He didn't write Ivan until he was in the Cubes. So it was me and Joey and this guy Patrick Hurd. And Joey calls it the SAD set, S-A-D, the solo acoustic douchebag. And I think that's appropriate because I've seen and have been that. And we just liked each other's songs, and so we started hopping up on stage with each other on open mic. You know, big production, 2 mics. Woo. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then through hanging out with Joey and showing him a bunch of music I liked, and standing on the roof of this warehouse I lived in, like, we just sort of, it started one specific day, and me and Joey were hanging out. This is back when he drank, and we were hanging out. It was a Sunday. There's no booze in Kansas. This is, you know, early 21st century shit.
It sounded like 2001.
Right. Well,
2000.
whatever we started.
Something.
About 8 years ago or whatever. we were like, well, that other songwriter's pretty good. You got his number? I got his number. Like, call him. See if he's got any whiskey. It wasn't even necessarily about the songwriting. It was just like, we called him up and he's like, yeah, I always keep a bottle of Bullet under my truck seat. Just in case. It's like, dude, come over. So we were sitting there strumming guitars, and it was like 3 dudes playing guitar. Like, this is awful. That's a bunch of guitar playing. None of us are good at guitar, playing the same chords. Like, that's redundant. And he had a banjo and a mandolin, and so I started playing banjo, and I started writing Hair Ribbon when we were standing on the roof. It took me 2 years to write that song.
That's a fucking dude.
I wrote that first
epic
lick.
Story.
I wrote that first lick on banjo. I couldn't even imagine how I would play it on banjo if I had to. But
wow,
standing on the roof, came up with the first verse. 2 years later, in Lawrence, with my boots full of beers from the bar I just left. Like, bottles of beers they let me take. I was like, oh, shit. Oh, there's the second verse. Like, I came into the house and was like, Cody, here it is. Like, here's the second verse. He's like, the what? What the fuck are you talking about? It was, 4 in the morning. Like,
yeah.
Anyway, so we called Patrick over, and he had booze. So we drank it and started a band. And Cody came along later.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I knew Cody came along later. So you guys have been doing this for, well, like, when do you feel like the band really started touring and,
About
going out?
5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I think we've been together for 8. It's right towards 8.
Yeah.
And we weren't together for... We really weren't together for more than a year before we were... I knew that was what we needed to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is that when did you guys, like, just come up with an idea, like, all right, let's just fucking start going out there and play anywhere that we can?
Places.
And, yeah.
Just have people...
How did you guys start, like, just getting out there?
I don't know.
Did you know other bands and, like, hey, let me open up for you in St. Louis?
You meet more bands the more shows you play, and you meet... If you're good with local venues, you end up getting on some shows that, like, start to matter, and you're with touring bands. You're opening up for a touring band if they like you. We were fortunate enough that people liked us. Bands that were touring through liked us, and they were like, all right, give you a show. Like, why have you ever come to Texas? Like, oh shit, because we were playing open mics on Mondays. You know what I mean? Like, we were seriously open mic guys. Like, we'd all been in bands, we'd all been in projects. I was done with music. I was done.
Yeah.
I was done, but I felt compelled to...
Why were you done with music?
Because that's what kids dream of.
Really?
That's that's not what people
You went there, though, like, mentally. Like, it's not...
This is what I do. I work for a living. I work hard for a living. I, digging holes and filling them back up. And that's what I am now. I'm part of the worker. Part of the worker. You know what I mean? And this is my one, like, every Monday, I get to, like, sing a song, and sometimes people clap, and sometimes people aren't paying attention at all, and sometimes I get to do three songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
can I take 12 minutes of your time? Because that would be rad. That's part of the reason why when I write a song, I want to get in and get out.
Yeah.
There's no room for solos. There's no room for other stuff. I want to get in, say what I need to say, and get the fuck out, because time is limited.
It's like exercising.
Time is limited on open mic stage. You have a little bit of time.
Yeah, but I think there's something to be said about that too, man. Because like just having that mentality, like I have all these things. I got a way to
get in, get the fuck out. Get in,
fucking get all the fucking demons out, and then drop the mic. I'm done. I can't.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm good.
Rock it.
You know, you know. You guys have a fucking really good live show, and and that's not because
it's Cube stuff, but yeah.
Well, yeah, no. Like you guys, the Calamity Cubes, the three of you guys. Now, what is now the Calamity Cubes? You have a really good live show, and it's pretty impressive to have three guys who are basically doing somber, heartfelt songs. Some of them are faster, but not fast. Yeah, and a lot of them are pretty slow, but
nearly
everybody that's watching you guys play is mesmerized, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that everything that you say is so from the fucking gut. It's so honest, and everybody can really relate to that.
There are shows like that. There are also shows where people don't want to listen to words. They want to hear a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, they can see the instrumentation and be like, oh, you guys are a fast bluegrass band. It's no.
And you're not.
Nope.
Not at all.
Actually, we're not. Like, sorry. In fact, we'd be fucked if we had to play it.
Well,
we'd be...
You guys are wordsmiths. Like it's a collective. Like you guys, the Calamity. To me, this is just my own opinion. You're not so much a band as you are a collective of songwriters that know.
Interesting opinion.
It's my own opinion.
No,
it's my own opinion.
I'm not disagreeing.
You're a collective of songwriters.
Yeah.
That really know how to fucking what's the word? Help each other out. Yes, you're selfless at times, and you're selfish at other times. You're selfish when you need to be selfish, and you're selfless when you need to be selfless.
The song is the most important thing.
Thank you for saying that.
I've been saying that for a long time. I had to stand on stage and sing a song I wrote with my ex-girlfriend, and the song is the most important thing. That's the point. You know what I mean? Like, it's beyond any personal anything. A song, like, while it might personally affect a couple people in a way that they don't want, if they're responsible for carrying it, if it's theirs, you can't just put it in your pocket. You can't just put it in the trunk somewhere. It's the song, and the song is important, and the song needs to go to someone, and the song is more important and bigger than you or anything you can even fucking imagine. So when I'm writing a song with someone, they're like, I'm tired. Like, no. Finish it. Let's change the world. You know what I mean? Like,
man.
It's the most important thing. The song is the most important thing. No feelings between musicians, no feelings between any. I mean, like, I don't even know how to express it more clearly.
Well, I think I've had, for a long time, I've always felt, I've been in a bunch of bands, different dynamics every time.
Yeah.
And knowing your place is another thing.
Now.
You know. But, yeah. But I've always...
You should learn how to play drums so you can be a dick to everybody.
Dude, I'm already a dick. I don't need any fucking help doing that. But I've always felt like the sum is greater than its parts. I don't know how the fucking saying goes. But, you know, like, I've always had the same mentality. Like, you know what? It's not
bigger
about... It's
than
not
that.
about... Yeah, this is...
You can change the world. That seems broad and boastful or...
but it's fucking true.
Dude, you can change the
Absolutely
fucking
true.
world, and worlds are little sometimes.
Look at fucking. I mean,
You know what I
honestly,
mean?
look at John Lennon. John Lennon is a guy who.
Fuck John.
Well, no. I'm not. No.
Fuck John Lennon.
I don't even like the
Jesus
fucking Beatles.
Christ.
I don't even
Of
like the
all
Beatles.
the people you could bring up
Hold on.
that we know that write songs that will
It's a good example.
fucking rock people.
It's a good example, though. It's a guy who's in a band for a long time. He's in a band, in a boy band. I know there's a million people right now that are going to debate everything that we talk about right now.
That's
But-
pretty presumptuous.
But
I doubt a
there's
million
one
people.
guy,
Okay.
probably more than a million people. One guy who literally, with one song, has changed minds.
Yep, imagine. When did he come out with that?
I don't know.
After the boy band.
Probably.
No,
and-
not probably.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, all right, all right, absolutely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yep.
But my point is, it's a song. It's a fucking song.
It's just a song.
It's one song.
It's just a song.
And it's literally changed people's opinions, emotions.
It's a peace movement. It's a whole fucking.
It's a peace movement,
Human
and it started.
rights
It started
thing. It's
with
a-
one guy on a fucking
Yeah.
couch with a piece of paper and a pen,
and
just being like,
it's a cool song, but I've heard amazing songs. If we want to change the world, everyone should listen to Willie T. Because Willie T. Taylor, look,
oh, dude,
he can even make death seem comfortable. You know?
well, Willie T.
On the long list of songwriters, but I started my day today, which is why he's on my mind. But I was thinking about my friend who died, and my buddy who was left without her, and listened to a Willie T song, and cried, you know, for a minute. Because he's got this song called You're Everywhere Now, or Everywhere Now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like,
yeah.
If you can't relate to what he's saying,
You're
then
inhuman.
You're
inhuman.
You should listen to sports radio, or you should never listen to music again, or you should never.
I don't
say hello to a
there's
person.
no
or
there's no
something,
person
you know what I mean?
there's no person in the world that can hear that song and not relate to it.
Dude,
there's not one person in the world. I have enough faith in humanity.
I would hope
one way or another. There's not. I can honestly feel and explain with my words.
Yep.
I don't think there's one person on the planet that couldn't listen to that song and like disagree with it.
You never knew anyone
no.
who died? Like, nah, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Why aren't you talking about trucks and cups and chicks and skirts and dirt and rivers and all sorts of shit that no one, whatever.
You hear a song like that and it
real. I want real songs.
It puts everything in perspective.
Real songs can be catchy, but
the best.
It should be fucking real. You know what I mean?
It's hard to do, man.
Oh, is it? Is that why not? It's hard to do.
It's hard to do.
Really?
It's hard to be real because you have to think about it, though, man. It's hard to be fucking honest with yourself. It's hard enough to be honest with yourself.
It's easy to be honest with yourself. We all know we're shitbags. It's hard to try to say that your feelings are important too, even though you're a shitbag.
Yeah, it's fucking hard.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
But just being a person is whatever. It'll end.
Well, yeah. All right. yeah, it's gonna end. Whole moral of the story. Life is fucking gonna end.
Yep. And sometimes the hash will show up and sometimes it won't. Where is that?
It's over there. It's over there. I like your house, man. It's nice.
I like this house too.
This is fucking.
Did you look at the art?
I haven't had an opportunity to look at the art yet.
Take a chance and.
I mean, I see the Christmas tree cutouts, but that's pretty much.
No.
I walked through. We started a fire.
I'll give you a tour.
Okay, well, give me a tour in a minute. I think this is about. Let me see you later, real quick. There's a couple things that I want to say though.
Say them.
That I think that other people agree with me on this. You have some of the most heartfelt songs. I'm gonna go there. I know it's hard. It's really easy to fucking hear like, oh, you suck at something when somebody tells you you're good at something.
Yeah, because that's when I know people are being honest.
Yeah, it's hard to fucking deal with. But just come on, man. Just deal with me giving you some compliments right now.
Gross.
You're a fucking cunt.
Yeah, all right. See, now that I'm a cunt, I'll take it.
All right. You, asshole.
Uh-huh.
Your fucking dickheadedness. You're awesome at what you do. You have some of the most heartfelt songs. It makes me fucking cry. It makes me feel elated.
Good.
You know, depending song by song. You know, you capture me. Capture a lot of people. You have 3 different.
Do I complete you?
Not yet. Not yet. And hopefully never.
All right.
Once if I'm completed, then I'm never going to be fucking. I'm going to be out of a job. Did I ever tell you my hero? You have 3 different fucking succinct voices.
Yeah.
3 of them.
Yeah.
That I've noticed.
Yeah.
Is that intentional, or is that just?
Yes and no. Like I said, the song is the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm capable of singing towards that song in the most appropriate way, I will use that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The song is the most important thing.
Right.
I feel like the voice is another instrument, and you can use a lot of textures and shapes. You know, like...
They're not different personalities,
I've heard people, describe my voice as scratchy, or round, or small. You know what I mean?
Small?
Yeah.
Who the fuck ever just said that your voice is small?
Because I can. And this, this last record...
I know that you can do small.
Like tonight, you heard me sing small.
Yeah, no, but...
Yeah, no.
Just thinking of somebody describing your voice as small is like, fucking...
That's awesome. I'll take that, because that implies control over something that I would hope to have control over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like every lyric deserves a certain sound to it. And especially if it's just me, I will try to go all over the place in a sequence.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And in a band context, I try to use as much of the space as I can and imply feelings and texture. You know, because a growl will do one thing, and a big round bellow will do another thing, and a little sweet harmony right in there, will totally do another thing that will... It's important to get our feelings out, but it's also important for people to have feelings of their own.
Yeah.
And so if we can express our feelings as much as we can musically imply, and I mean in a broader sense than me or the band or all of us, we're trying to make people feel at least a little bit of what we're talking about. I hope. Because if we're singing about drinking and trucks and fucking rivers, who gives a fucking shit? I don't care. I've driven through a field in a truck, and I'm not going to fucking sing about it.
Yeah.
Because I've had better moments sitting around a table by a campfire with my friends, and I don't sing about that either. I sing about, hopefully, and most of us that I care about and respect are not worried about that stuff. It's bigger than that. And it's... hopefully we're all living actual lives that we can talk about. You know, not like... it's not a field party. You know, like, it's not a fucking field party.
Yeah.
I know I went on a tangent, but...
Brooke, you're a beautiful soul.
There's like 12 things that are important to me, and it's hard to reference them all. And when I think about all of them, there's like
You're doing
27
good. You're doing fucking great. You're doing great. Man, I mean, there's a lot to you. There's a lot of layers to you. You have a big exterior. But man, it's really nice to fucking see the insides.
Well,
you know?
That sounds gross. I'm all had no cattle. So. You can just keep up out of my insides. And I'll just keep not having a ranch.
Oh, man.
We'll be right there.
So, okay. All right. When we're done with this, I want to play a song.
All right.
I want to play a song.
Okay.
For people that listen to this shit.
Gross.
People that give a fuck about you.
That's a horrible idea.
Is there a song in particular that you want people to hear?
You're the one who wants the song.
Alright. Well, that's not the question. Is there a certain song that you want people to hear?
Are you...
No.
This is fist in air.
Like, is there a song that you... Is there a song that you want people to hear more than others? Or do you want me to just pick one? Because I'll pick one.
I don't...
But, you know, I mean, like, everybody's got their favorite child.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I was just going to reference children because that's a common thing. But, like, I would have, like, dozens and dozens and dozens of kids. And, like, it's hard to be like, oh, this one's pretty. Like, turd. Like, next kid? No.
There's no frame of reference. There's no, like...
I should try to play my... I have a bad song. I should try to play my worst song for you.
Go get your guitar.
Yeah, I'll play my worst song for you.
Awesome.
Now that's exciting.
All right.
The worst song.
I was just hippie sitting around. I was farting on fire. Fire fart.
I want to hear his worst song.
I do too.
Yeah.
Oh, that feels good. Hey, buddy. How you doing?
I'm great. It's good seeing you again, man.
You too.
I gotta get some Jayke at least 3 times a year. That's it.
We're doing all right then.
Mm-hmm.
You're always on my playlist.
Yeah, I had you at a farm, Roots, Tulsa.
You're one of those guys. You're one of those guys that's always good to see you. You know?
I try, man.
There's certain people that when you see them, it's like, all right, here we go. And there's other people that's like, when you see them, all right, everything's gonna be good.
We had this.
You're one of those.
We had that talk at Roots, man. How good it is to be able to step out of the music and just enjoy yourself as a person.
Yeah.
And, you guys are all my friends, and I enjoy your music, but you're my friends first. Music, you know.
I mean, that's really good to hear.
It's good to. You don't always have to be in character.
Really, really good way to put it. Oh man,
I speak good sometimes.
Sometimes.
Every now and then.
Put your booty down on this thing.
Anyway, sorry.
It's been a good night. Man.
It is, man. Pretty successful evening.
It's been a very night. It's been a very heartfelt night.
Bonfire. You got your podcast. When are these going to start being public?
Probably not.
You got edit and everything, or you just letting it roll?
No, I don't really. I'm flying by the seat of my pants, man. I don't really know.
I think you just let it roll and let it be raw. Let people understand. I mean,
I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm doing. It's just like I just want people to know what's going on.
I think if you want
brains,
if you want people to really understand what goes on behind the music scene, I think you don't edit it. I think you just let it go raw. It's heart to heart. It's like you and Brooke right here talking. Don't edit it. I mean, that's how. It depends on what your idea.
You can't edit life. You know what I mean? You just can't.
Yeah, you can't. That's what I say. You just fucking wing it. The best decisions in my life has been on a whim, and just winged it. And I haven't regretted a thing. So, I don't
know how to put it better. No, I love my life and I hate it at the same time. Trying to find a balance between, both sides of my brain.
It's I don't know, man. I think it's pretty admirable. You're doing what you love. Most people in the world, actually probably 90% of the people in this world can't stand their lives. They're doing something they do not want to do.
Yeah.
What's all the money in the world if you're fucking miserable? You know? No.
Way more of a hot commodity.
Yeah.
I was gonna play this song for Jayke. We're doing the worst song series, right?
Yeah, we can.
If anyone else stands up, this thing's gonna flip.
Don't pick on the fat kid. 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 Don't pick on the fat kid, 'cause he packs a lot of punch. Said the kid with a black eye to his friends at lunch. You see, he said too much, that he threw a punch. Don't pick on the fat kid. Don't pick on the fat kid when it gets too hard. It's just too hard. It's too hard when it gets too hard. It's just too hard. It's too hard. Earth angel, earth angel, won't you be mine? I'll love you always till the end of time. Earth angel, won't you be mine? Don't pick on the fat said the kid with the black eye to his friends at lunch. You see, he said too much. A fatty threw a punch. Don't pick on the fat kid. 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 Earth angel, earth angel, won't you be mine? I love you always till the end of time. Earth angel, don't pick on the fat kid.
Daisy, wife of John, had a son, and that is why she stayed. 'Cause John thought the whole world was against him. He drank more every day. Little Johnny, son of Daisy and John, grew up, met his wife, and they had a son. Johnny thought the world was on his side, but he drank more every night. Daisy, flower and sun, you don't have to stay. Then Daisy, your petals are all gone. They flew away, flew away, flew away. Johnny thought nothing could go wrong. Woke up, his wife and his son were gone. They left him just one line: figure it out, we'll be back sometime. Daisy, flower and sun, you don't have to stay. And Daisy, your petals are all gone. They all flew away, flew away, flew away. Daisy, wife of John, had a son, and that is why she stayed. 'Cause John knew his wife would never leave him for drinking more every day. And Daisy, flower in the sun, you don't have to say. And Daisy, petals are all gone. They all flew away, flew away, flew away. They flew away, flew away.
There it is, guys. that's Brooke. That's me hanging out with him. Brooke is a fucking deep dude. If you're still here listening to this, I appreciate that, man. But I'll tell you this much. If you are still here listening to my voice right now, then do this. I beg of you. Google the Calamity Cubes. Please listen to the Calamity Cubes any way that you can. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them on iTunes. You can find them everywhere that you find anything on the internet. All you got to do is go on the internet, which pretty much just means don't use your phone as a phone. Just use it as what it really is, a mini computer. And just fucking look up the Calamity Cubes. Buy their shit. Listen to their shit. Follow them. Go to their shows. It really means a lot when you do that, and I don't think people really appreciate how much the little things matter when you go to see a show, when you go to listen to a band, when you tell somebody else about the band. You're doing so much more than you think. So I just want to stress that a lot. Check out the Calamity Cubes and Brook Blanche. Anyway. All right, so that's it for this week. We're going to be back in about 2 weeks, right before Christmas, or maybe Christmas. I can't remember. We're going to be there with the Everymen. The Everymen are from South Florida. It's a little bit of a different direction. It's a little bit swampier. It's a little bit greasier. And when we talk about that, you're going to hear the story about how Sergio got kidnapped in Colombia. And it's not even a fucking joke. 6 years old, kidnap, Colombia. Do the math. Tune in. Come on back. All right, so that's it. I'm Jake. I'll be back. I'll be in Pittsburgh at the Thunderbird Cafe December 12th. I'll be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, December 13th at the Compound. Other than that, just stick around with us.
Epicast.
Okay. We'll see you soon. Thanks a lot, guys.
Last call for drinking. Bars closing.